had Coastal Carolina and Lafayette. Louisiana Lafayette on the TV, and trying to help me with it. It didn't work out too well, did it?
Exactly. Yeah, no. Anyway, man, I'm just trying to get this thing going. Messing around. So how's everything been going on your end with the fantasy football and everything?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Damn it, Chandler. What we doing? We're not starting this over. It's live.
Oh, you didn't want to? No, it's live, man. We're going, rocking and rolling.
No, I wasn't ready yet because
just like the old podcast, like we used to do it.
Yeah, nothing new with the fantasy league. It's become just a 6-group, 8-group league. If nobody else signs up and wants to win $30 and play, so that's all the kind of news I got. But it's fun, man. Everybody sign up. Look, nothing happened over. We didn't win a game that we got screwed on.
Well, I don't know. I kind of consider that a win. I'm feeling like we walked away with a 28-27 victory. And you can say whatever you want. I mean, that was definitely robbed from us, and there's no way we would have lost it with the amount of time that was left on the clock. I'm not accepting the referee's defeat, and I'm calling that one a win. And I'll tell you what else makes other people feel like that was a win is because ESPN in their Power Index ranking actually gave us a 60% chance to beat Ole Miss. That's the first time that's happened in like 3 years to like basically beat any kind of a Division I school. So,
yeah, it's been a while. We're 2-1. I mean, we're tied for second in the SEC West, and why not look at that? I mean, that's the end of the game right there. We had it. That was the wrong call. Our guys were going after it. Fouché landed on the ball. I mean, he's coming from the safety position, so he's not going to get there in the split microsecond. And then Grant Morgan's getting held by the neck, and he's trying to get after it. And we've got guys that recognize that's a fumble, and it's a BS call, man. I don't know what to tell you, and it still hurts. It bothers me. There's no way I can get over it. And a day kind of ruined my week, to be honest with you. That's why I got thrown off by the intro. I was like, man, should I really let it unload? Like what the week's been like after a loss like that? Like I thought, like every week was a little. Didn't reach its potential the last couple of years when the football program embarrassed itself.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, oh, yeah, this is what it's like to have a real football team and get – well, I mean, I think a lot of draws back as far as just like wide open, like end of the game things that iced the game.
Oh, yeah.
That was 2009 Florida, Bobby Petrino.
Oh.
When you worked with the team, Chad.
Golly.
There's a couple different calls, A lot of people have been mentioning the Marcus Shepard personal foul that was against the other guy, but the extra yard or two that Tebow got live there. Mark Curl's just calling things, took it away from us. That's kind of what it reminds you.
You're hurting me, man. You're hurting me.
I'm not trying to. I'm already hurt, so I mean,
I was starting to feel better, man. I was starting to shake the hog pressing off. But goodness gracious, it's hard to do that. But you're right. You're 100% right. It was stolen from us. It was stolen by the referees, and you got to take it. So I'll tell you what I have issues with, though, is the offense. Honestly, I have some major issues with it, and I'm not happy with the job that Kendall Briles is doing. I'm not going to wait to talk about this like I did in previous seasons with these other clowns. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it right now and bring it up. Look, you don't put in running quarterback when you get close to the goal line and just try to beat them on the edge. And then the next week, put in a totally different running quarterback and try to run the exact same play at the same side. So try to beat them on the edge twice. Running the ball. Stop it. Stop doing it. It doesn't work. You already tried it once. It didn't work. You tried it again. It didn't work. And then you tried it again right after you tried it, and it didn't work. Stop doing it. Don't do it anymore. Period. I can't stand that. When you get down the goal line, leave Franks in and let him get it in. It's his job. He got us down there. Let him have the glory. Give him the points. Let him have the statistics. Don't take you all the way down the field. Pull the kid out and send somebody else in there to finish it off. No, it's not. It's not a way to coach. It's not working, and I don't want to see it again, frankly.
Yeah, at first in this game, Franks goes out, and I thought, well, he kind of got hit hard. Was he out of the injury? Then they showed a shot of him on the sideline. He didn't look injured at all, so they just took him out again the second week in a row. It's like, and I know Pittman came to the defense. Is like, well, it's in our goal line package. It's been working in practice, but it's like, man, Franks is just, on these two occasions, the separate one, KJ last week and Hornsby this week, Malik Hornsby this week. Just Franks was rolling down these drives, and he's on fire, man. Franks threw 4 touchdowns in this game. Like at that point, he's just in the money. Like with whatever receiver, whatever tight end, he's got starting receivers, starting running backs, starting tight ends out, and he's finding whoever's next, like just on a roll, taking the ball out of his hands. He's making plays, and I mean that's what we got him for. And I think taking it out of his hands, I mean, if it does work, it sounds great. But these guys are Jefferson and Hornsby, aren't they? I mean, they should be talented quarterbacks. They're not running backs. You're not putting Traylon Smith or somebody or TJ Hammonds at the quarterback spot. You're putting a quarterback listed in the roster as a quarterback. They should be able to throw, at least try to throw it to one of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Warren's looking good in that game. Woods has caught some big passes. Blake Kern at the tight end spot stepped up with Hudson Henry being out. I mean, like you had chances.
And why was Hudson Henry out? Why was Hudson Henry out? Why is he sitting on the sideline for the whole bench and nobody knows why he's out the whole time? He's not injured. He's suited up. He's sitting there and he doesn't get any playing time. What's going on with our tight ends? You know, is that just bad coaching? And it's scary. It feels like maybe it's bad coaching. Hopefully he did something that upset Pittman enough that he sat him to prove a point of some kind, maybe something in practice. I don't know, but golly.
He said in the Monday it came out, there was nothing kind of said before the game, but he said Monday, I think in his press conference, that it was an injury. He didn't elaborate on it. He didn't elaborate on the injuries, which whatever. Nobody else does, so why should he? But yeah, we didn't know, and it was like, well, yeah, I would have liked to seen Hudson in that game. Hope he's back this week. I mean, tight ends could be deadly against Ole Miss.
Yeah, well, usually you're not suited up when you're in the injury, so that I don't know.
Well, that's what he said. I don't know, man. I agree with you, man. I mean, I would have liked to see him out if he's suited up, but that's what he said. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point, though. Good point. And then, I think the other thing is you were talking about Felipe Franks, right?
Yes.
And I think you got to point out that, there could have been another scenario where Felipe was not running the ball whenever he would get into situations where he couldn't get it to a receiver because our receivers couldn't get open for nothing, which we got to get fixed. We got to get receivers to get open. We got to fix our routes, whatever we got to do. Maybe change it up, run different routes. I don't know. But we got to fix it and get our receivers the ball. Part of it was weather conditions. Okay, I'll give you that. They wanted to play in tropical storm conditions, and we saw some rain and some wind and stuff like that throughout the game. Although it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been.
First quarter, when we were down 17-0 in the first quarter.
But we were down 17-0, right, in this game. But that's the thing is, so Franks isn't running it, right? He's not tucking it. He's not running it. So maybe he thought, oh well, I'm down here on the goal line. I want somebody who's going to tuck it and run it. That's why I'm going to put him in, right? But I don't know. I just think it's a bad move. I think if that is the reasoning, that's bad coaching. You shouldn't do that, period. And I'm just going to stand by like that's just the wrong move. That's not how they should have moved forward in that situation.
Yeah, and I like how Felipe runs the ball when he does, but he'd probably even...
On the second half, he started running well.
Yeah, at first, we got to get a good start, man. We can't. Ole Miss is going to jump on us, man. I mean, how many points did they in a shootout lost to? I mean, they scored 48 points against Bama or something like that. So, just back and forth game with them. We can't get behind 17-0, 21-0. no matter how I like Odom, but Ole Miss has got a pretty good offense, so we can't have these slow starts.
Well, why was Knox not playing a better game too? We got to get him to play at a better game. We can't have a drop pass. He just needs to step up, do a little bit better, right?
Yeah, his stat line is 0 catches, -1, 0, 0.
That's what I'm saying. We can't have just a drop pass. Like, that can't be the only thing you do in a game, right?
Man, well, he wasn't anywhere in the first game against Georgia. Had a couple catches last week. It was like, all right, he's coming, he's getting on, and
I think he's had four catches this year.
Yeah, the drop two. When you think about the drop 2-point conversion, he had in the back of the end zone, wide open. Made an athletic jump to get it right in his hands and dropped it, and that would have, obviously been the 30-30 to go into overtime. We had the momentum. We were gonna win that game if we had overtime against them. If they still would have not gave us that call, we would have been so fired up. Auburn wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen, of course, as we know. But
I agree. That catch is a must have.
And I'll get on this too. But we got to have Kendall Browse, man. He's got to have some offense to finish that game up when we've got the ball. After Auburn misses that field goal, it's like, wow, man, we roared back in this game. We have the ball. Let's punch it. All we got to get is a first down or two, and we go 3 and out and have to punt and give Auburn back the ball. Like that offense, the defense is still. I like it. They adapted and they were bad. I mean, they had a lot of broken tackles and things that we haven't seen early, but they adjusted as well and played a lot better game than they had started. But we as an offense, you got to finish that with a couple minutes left with the lead and just finish it over Auburn. Just run the clock on them. You got to finish it like that. We couldn't. We just changed our offense all of a sudden and didn't look like the one that had been driving on Auburn for the besides the first 15 minutes of the game, the rest of the way, it's just been moving down the field on them every drive.
Oh yeah. We had several drives in a row, and we gave our defense time to rest. Our defense had another good game, so you got to say hats off to them.
Yes, absolutely.
For the whole situation, right? And the good games they had. I mean, and I don't know. I think, when we go back to the offense, you got Devion Warren, you got Mike Woods, all these guys who stepped up and played a decent game. But at the same time, we just need, Woods can't be the only playmaker out there, right? We got to have more playmakers out there. It can't just be him.
You got to have some more, man. I like Woods. I like Smith as a running back and catching the ball. Devion Warren has 2 touchdowns. He's came on big this year. Burks has got to get healthy. Hadn't played since that scored that first touchdown against Georgia and just has been injured or has been missing. So we need him to come back as one of our best receivers and get another playmaker. And Hudson Hendren's got to come back, and Boyd's got to come back for this offense to just. I mean, we got a shot to get back in this thing. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be hard to catch Bama, but we deserve to win that game. If we're at the end of the season, Chad, and I mean this for real, because we just went on the road, came back from 17-0, and really won that game against the number 13 team.
And that's one thing that I think is
in a tropical depression, hurricane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Showed some guts despite all of our things that because we'll get into special teams and things like that too.
Yeah.
But my goodness, we roared back to have some. I mean, that's
exactly. I'll tell you what I think is important, that what you're saying, and the most important thing out of there was the being down 17 points, 17-0, being in a situation where it's like, all right, it's happening to Arkansas again. Yep. They're going to lose this game. I'm going to go out and do some yard work. You had those folks out there that you guys, you can't be doing that. You got to stop it. You got to stop it. You can't be doing that. You got to believe in the Razorbacks. You got to believe in the Hogs, because the Razorbacks and the Hogs proved that they believe in themselves, and they fought back from that 17-point deficit, and they pretty much won this game. Whether it's a win on the scorecard at the end or not, they won it by proving to themselves they could fight back from a deficit like that and be contenders in the ball game. And they shouldn't have been in a situation where they had to fight back in the first place if the quarterback would have made a few different moves. If the offensive coordinator would have made a few different moves, we would have had more points on the board. And then our special teams was horrible. Like, took a step back, right? But like Mississippi State, we got special teams fixed. It was horrible at Georgia, first game out. You know, we hadn't had a coordinator for a while. We just got to get things rolling. Oh, look, we got it fixed against Mississippi State. And then the same crap starts happening when you go out to Auburn. I mean, exact same stuff. Lining up, you know, in an illegal formation to get it right.
It puts us back again, but then the block punt for the TD set the tone. That was the first touchdown of the game, and we just had stopped Auburn. The defense has just been stopping Auburn. It looks like a sloppy first quarter. Get through the first quarter, let that rain subside as it did, and our offense started moving, and that's no excuse. They did it too, but they put 17 points on the board on us quick, and we should have responded at least one time, and there's a different story. We were the better team. It's good. I mean, it's I like this. This is good. This is good stuff, man. Like, to be pissed off about this, like, man, it's possible. Yeah. We should be 2-1 right now.
We should be.
Already, like, we shouldn't have even lost by that much to Georgia. We're better than that the way we're playing, man. There's some things that
we got here because of a coaching situation, and we got here from a coach who tried this fancy stuff and it didn't work. And we brought in another coach who likes to try a bunch of fancy stuff, and we knew that bringing him in. All right, it's time for him to stop it and coach some grown-up football. All right, coach some Nick Saban, you know, grown-up football. Coach some Lane Kiffin grown-up football, because that's what you're fixing to go up against. You need to get it together, and you need to call a perfect game, honestly. I think we're going to have to call a perfect game to beat Ole Miss, but I think we can beat Ole Miss if we do that.
Yeah, Ole Miss is. I mean, that's a matchup you kind of looked at the schedule. It's a team we should have beat the last couple of years, or had more so of his best chances against Ole Miss. That's one of the games last year that you just. I mean, Bielema went 4-1 against them, and you know, you look at last year, Morris, like that first SEC game, the second game of the season, like, all right, this is it. Let's see if Morris has improved, and we just can't score a point, you know, in the first half and barely score 10 or whatever points and get whipped by Mississippi State and Matt Luke. And you know, like, that's the time when he's fired. So it's like, man, this is kind of where you know, where we kind of prove it. You know, Kiffin, we went after Kiffin. We liked Kiffin for the Arkansas job. I think that was really coming down to him. And
it came down to money, and Ole Miss gave him more, and he went there. And I don't blame him. And we knew that at the time. That's what we said at the time. We knew he interviewed at the time. We followed that closely. So if you want to know about it, go listen to the old podcast. He was coming to Arkansas, wound up going over to Ole Miss because they paid him more money. And I think Luke broke that, right? So
yeah. Yeah, because we really thought like that was happening.
Goodness gracious.
But Pittman, I mean, he already beat Leach. That was one of the contenders for the Arkansas job. So here's another one, first year SEC. Why don't you beat Kiffin, and we'll beat Drinkowitz later on in the year.
Drinkowitz.
You know, if we get that far. But so I think we got a really good shot this weekend. I think players are going to be just pissed off enough, and Ole Miss is coming off playing Bama. I mean, like, how much more they got? You know, they barely can field a team if we even play this weekend. So I want to play. I hope everything gets out right, because and the more and more you talk about it, you're just like, man, come on, I'm ready. We want to come out and win. We cannot end this. Cannot have all this.
It's like you said earlier. We got a chance to do something special, right? We got a chance to do something special. We have a good ranking in the SEC. We have a good team. We beat a good Mississippi State team. We almost beat a good Auburn. We got to beat an Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss is just a team you have to beat every single year, year in, year out. And Texas A&M is also another one of those teams, especially being, you know, in our conference. They're just not as good as us. They can't recruit as good as us. Their school is the locate. I mean, what has Ole Miss got to offer? You know, William Faulkner was here, right? I mean, who doesn't love Southern Goth? But that's not really, you're not really selling it to the inner city kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we should
It's
be
like
able
out in the
to
middle of a
move.
pasture.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting to drive to. It isn't. I mean, Memphis is a lot better. Everybody that goes down there for a game or something, you want to spend time in Memphis. You're not spending time in Oxford. I don't know why you'd want to go do that.
Exactly.
I'm going to went to a basketball game there a couple of years ago. A big win during Mike Anderson's years on the road with Bobby Portis and them won like a big top 25 matchup in Oxford. But we just hung out in Memphis and ate some barbecue and stuff and hung out and instead of going to Oxford. And I didn't know anything about that. I went to that game, saw us win, and went back to Memphis.
Well, I tell you what, I guess we had a fan write in, so I guess we should read the email. Because we always said we would. Alright, so Matt writes, Woo Pig, Chad and Tim. I've been telling myself that I'd give you guys something to play or read for the last couple of weeks ago, so here it is. I must start off by saying that I have some very bad habits as a fan that I have to work on, which have developed over the last 3 or 4 years. I was so upset and frustrated over the slow start of our offense and atrocious performance of our special teams that I turned off the game before the end of the first quarter.
That's awful. I mean, come
I
on.
told you guys some guys went out there and did housework, didn't I, earlier in the podcast. I have gotten so used to the disappointment of being a Hog fan that I let it ruin something that is supposed to be fun for me. I love Razorback athletics, as I know many others do. So I just want to say to the others out there who still want to sink into hog pression and tear out their hair when things start going wrong, we're a different team, and the misery is coming to an end. Move on. I did. Go back, rewatch the game, and while I did see some things which concerns me, namely special teams, we absolutely should have won that game. We made plenty of mistakes, and those mistakes make it easy to discount the effort of the teams and the coaches if you're still hardwired to see navigates due to the horrid coaching we had had. However, despite those mistakes, Arkansas did everything necessary to win that game, if not for the incorrect and inexcusable fumble, backwards pass, ruled to be incomplete pass, the Hogs should be 2-1 right now. I'm proud of lots of things with the team, and at the end of the day, we have a defense that is capable of keeping us in and winning against the best SEC and NCAA has to offer. My only hope for them is that they stay grounded and don't give up the fundamentals in the place of going for big hits without wrapping up. The offense got off to a bit of a slow start, but when they started to roll, they kept it up.
Yeah.
Franks has all the talent in the world, and I would love to give him the ability to run a little more when his reads aren't there. I cannot wait for Burks or Boyd to make their return this week against Ole Miss. The offense, while flawed, has been impressive at times, even while missing 2 major weapons. I think the most important thing I've seen, though, is the intensity and desire to win from the very beginning of each of these games. Sam Pittman and his coaches are lighting fires and making them believe. Nothing is overnight, but there is a very bright light in the darkness for the first time in years. Thanks for indulging me and reading my bullshit, gentlemen. Matt, P.S. Congrats to the hockey team on their move to the Mid-America Hockey College Association. It's a step up in competition, with a lot of opportunity to come with it. Continue to support the hockey team, guys. It's a badass sport. So, hey, Matt, we're going to continue to support the hockey team. We appreciate you. And we want you to come on. We want you to come on and talk about hockey. That's supposed to be your thing. You came on. You talked about hockey. You said you're going to come on more and talk about hockey. And, yeah, we hadn't seen you. We've invited you several times. So get back on the podcast.
Yeah, we got to have some correspondence on this hockey. Matt, you agreed to be it. You came on the podcast. It was very good. Well, many people listened to it. Okay, So come on and tell us about the Mid-America College Hockey Association. Sounds like a really good. It sounds like a really good conference. We've played some of those teams. We already looked at it. Man, the Kansas, Nebraska's, the what are these other Wisconsin, Milwaukee's, or we've played in tournaments. Like it's already kind of, you could kind of foresee it happen. We went to a division that's more serious about hockey. You know, we're not playing. Sorry, we got tired of kicking Alabama's ass in hockey. You know what I mean?
Bad.
Just winning the SEC championship. We got the hardware to prove it. You know, I think that's the team this year was on pace. I mean, to win a national championship or very much compete for it. But we're ready to, move past that, and I think it's going to be very exciting hockey. Man, that's a good conference. It's a step up, and it's going to make the program even better.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for the move, and I think the most important thing that we need to make sure the fans understand is that we're going to be actually competing for a championship, whereas the rest of the SEC is opting out of competing for a national championship. So, I'm sure we'll schedule them, and we'll, just beat the tar out of them every once in a while, and that'll be fine, and they'll never move up or get any better because they've given up on the national championship, and they're not trying to be a, powerhouse hockey program, and that's okay. Not everybody can do it, right? So, when the University of Arkansas and the University of Tampa play in the national championship game, that'd be a pretty cool game to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited wherever they play. That's a team. I don't know if it's they're gonna have any fans this year, but if they are at the Jones Center, I'm sure you can make it safe.
Exactly.
They're gonna get really good this year.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm ready to check it out. I can't wait. So. Oh, well, goodness gracious. I guess we should dig in, to this game and, take a quick look at it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it quite a bit. There's some just obviously specialty.
I was just thinking about the stats.
Just said,
oh, yeah,
go ahead,
set sorry.
The tone. No, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, not much to say. 28-30. That's what they say. So, it is what it is.
That's what's in the books. That's awful, man.
First quarter, we're down 10-0. Second quarter, we're down 17-0. We do wind up scoring in the second quarter, so we get a couple field goals. Then a touchdown. We miss a extra point, I believe, right? So that puts us up to 12, something like that. And so that's 12-17. And they score, so you got 12-20. Then we're going in a third quarter. So you're going in a half at 12-20. Still down, but fighting, trying to come back from
better than 17-0.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. You're trying to come back, right? You're fighting. So that's good. They make some halftime adjustments. They come out and score again. So you got 21-27. Then score again, making it 28-27. And then the referees give Auburn a free score. So, yeah. We went up losing 28-30 because the referees gave them a free field goal. So, yeah, what a nice present to have. I mean, how does the coach even take that, right?
Yeah, that's one of those games. I went to the Auburn game in Fayetteville. In 2003, the game after we had knocked off Texas and Austin, ambushed in Austin when they were number 4, came back 4-0, and when we lost 10-3, where there was two just phantom holding calls. I think on a Matt Jones long run should have been like an 8-yard run, another touchdown, and just like nobody know where it came from. Just all of a sudden, just late flags. Like on touchdowns, like long touchdowns that we had, and we lost 10-3 that day, but just never anybody knew about it. Just like, man, this game reminded me of something like that. That hurt.
Crazy, just crazy stuff. And then I don't know. It is what it is, right? It just seems like Arkansas is always getting the short end of the stick and those sorts of things, and I don't know. It is what it is.
Right when we had momentum for the program, that's the thing that hurts. Man, we felt the taste of like just in that like look, our depth is not that great, man. Morse didn't leave us much. Bielema didn't leave him much. So it's like Pittman's fighting with what he's got. You got walk-ons playing all over the place and playing good too. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, just a lot of positions and just they're giving everything they got. That's why you hate to see it just taken from them. Not only just taken, you could tell they're trying not to let heart hurt. So hopefully they come out, and I'm thinking they take the approach this weekend. Just Ole Miss's offense has been pretty good, but we've got Odom's. I think he can figure out a way to stop them at least a couple times. And frustrating thing against Auburn, we didn't turn them over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We forced them to punt. We really adjusted them. Didn't miss as many tackles, thankfully. Thank Bigsby for them. I didn't give their running backs enough credit last week. I really did not. They hadn't shown it. I didn't know any of them. Tank Bigsby made me definitely pay. Like, wow, I don't know. I just totally missed him, man, because he made us look foolish a lot of times. But we did adjust, and the defense really settled down and made a lot of stops from then on. But never got that big turnover. That could swing the game even more. Maybe earlier than we needed to, but I give him a lot of credit, man.
Well, you got Pittman, right, as a new Arkansas coach, and I know he was on the O-line at the University of Arkansas before, so he kind of knows this. But it's best if they learn this early in their career as a University of Arkansas coach, and I think he really understands it now that they are not going to let you win a close game if they can help it at all when it comes to the referees in the University of Arkansas. Unless you're playing like Ole Miss. Then they might help you out, right?
Like Vanderbilt, South Carolina, maybe something like that.
But when you're playing a top tier program, they will not let you win if they can help it. And so you're playing against the referees. And I think it's good that he understands that now. But that just means we got to put some more points on the board. We can't go out there and dilly-dally around with not putting points on the board. We can't miss points. You can't miss points on the special team missing. Now, the first extra point, it was coming down still at that point. But, it seemed to maybe get better in order. You saw other extra points getting kicked and field goals getting kicked. So what do you think, honestly? And this is, first time major college head coach, and he starts chasing points early. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? You didn't really get much of it because, they had ran up, hurry up, and got to 2 after that to try to make up for it. But what did you think of him, chasing points early on? I don't know. You got to be aggressive. You got to put your foot on the gas, and you got to keep it there. And you can't.
At the time, you don't really think about it. At the time, you're like, all right, makes sense. When you look back, like, well, now that a couple, you know what I mean? So,
I don't know. I'm looking here at Traylon Smith, and wow, what a good game he had. Excuse me.
Bless you. Goodness.
I came out of nowhere. Hope it's not that Rona. Anyway, Traylon Smith, he had a good game, right? He went out there and got 81 yards, and his average was 4 yards a carry, and his long was 15, and that's nice. Anytime you can give a running back the ball and get over 3 yards per carry, that's a first down every time he touches it. Feed him the ball. And I'm excited to have him back and have that double-headed monster that we were talking about at the beginning of the year. And I know I said this, that we didn't have, that I'd like to see, and I hope somebody steps up. So he's stepping up. So now we got to get number one to be productive, right? I mean, maybe number one becomes number two. I don't care, but somebody needs to get productive so that we have two running backs that are, more of a threat. And that spreads the offense out, or defense out. And hopefully, once we do that, we have more holes we can hit. And because when you're repping in that fresh guy, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It just gives you more of an opportunity to, rack up more yardage. Well, you saw it with D-Mac and Felix.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a prime example, but you know what I'm saying.
You've got to have, like what we're talking about, man, to close that game. I mean, Traylon's, man, he played his heart out, man. I mean, both running in and the passing game, made huge plays. 3.9 yards average. I mean, that's 4 yards a carry. That's awesome. You give it to him three times, and he was pounding the ball. I mean, he had a long of 15, so he had some good first down runs like that, and misdirections and some draw plays that looked really good. Caught him just you could tell these guys' jerseys were just muddy as hell, just beating, playing that SEC game.
Yeah.
And he played really, but yeah, Rakeem Boyd, you could tell by that last possession when we really needed to milk it. We need somebody that's more Boyd, just power through and get us some first downs. Like, I mean, our offense, we would have definitely, if Rakeem Boyd would have been healthy with both of them, we would have scored 45 on them and won this game.
Absolutely.
Even more so than we did already.
Absolutely. And Franks is our second best rusher. I mean, hey, if you're listening, Franks, run the ball, right? Run it. And it's nothing there. Tuck it and run it. Just take off with it and haul ass and figure it out later. Just tuck it and run it. Because you're getting 1.9 yards per carry. So if you do that all through the game, you're going to have, and that does take away sacks and all that. But if you do that throughout the game, you're getting close to 2-3 yards per carry. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's moving the ball forward, and that's what we need. It's not taking us backwards, and there was no interceptions. There was no situations like that at all from Franks in this game. He played a really good game as a quarterback, and I have been very impressed with his mental ability to be a quarterback. Now it's time to match that mental acuity with his physical prowess, which he has. He's just not using it.
Yeah, it was a really game. Passing the ball. I mean, 22 for 30, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Just huge games, especially coming off that first Georgia game when he threw a couple, and his decision-making was kind of off. And definitely in the passing game, he's made more. And I think he would definitely say, I did hear Pittman say this week that he's like rainy and all that. So maybe Franks didn't want to make a bad decision. Especially at first when he could have tucked the ball and ran a little bit more and made quicker decisions. Maybe he didn't want to, put us in a bad, even worse spot, throwing an interception. After that first game when he threw 2, maybe he's just like, I don't want to screw up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then he started to again. But yeah, and also, he's coming off some ankle surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And
he did something to his. He tweaked his arm too during that game. You saw he tweaked his wrist or something.
And he falls a lot on his. He dives forward a lot. You worry. You don't. I mean, is it?
I did notice he tries to catch himself with his hands sometimes when he dives. They need to work on sliding. So
and that's kind of some things I thought maybe that's what Hornsby came in like. Frank's at least on that position when Malik came in. Like, was he hurt? Things like that. It's like, diving, and things like that. It's like, I like it though, man. He's trying to give it his all. But I think, especially early on, just go for it, Franks, man. I like the idea of it, The
offensive line ain't helping him out, putting him on the ground 3 times, almost once per quarter. So, I mean, that's better than we've done in the past. But at the same time, come on, guys, lock it up. We're playing Ole Miss this week. Our quarterback shouldn't be getting up off the ground at all.
And a credit to him on that Franks, just to play the 6 out when the pocket's kind of collapsing around him and he steps up and just steps. You can tell how as strong his arm is when he steps up and throws it down to Devion Warren. for that touchdown. And just like he's trying to make adjustments for the offense line, but come on, it's got to get better too.
Oh, then you got Mike Woods. You see him coming in and making some plays, which was exciting. This game, he gets 81 yards, 19 for his long, and a touchdown. So I mean, that's not bad at all. You got Traylon Smith right behind him, 78 yards, one touchdown, 25-yard long. And so we're starting to air the ball out a little bit more. Looking at Devion Warren with a 44-yarder, Blake Kern with a 35-yarder, Warren with 2 touchdowns, right? 95 yards for Warren. To me, I think he does the best job in this whole game, honestly.
Yeah, he's been the best receiver this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And but you have some guys behind him that's doing a good job. It's nice to see that Kern can rotate in, but we got to get our number one in there too. We got to get our best tight end in. And I don't know. I think if you have a full team, you win this game more handedly also. So you got to wonder what's going on there with, players that aren't playing. But I guess you said they were hurt, and that's, that's the story.
Well, that's what I got from it. I didn't say like, oh, that's Tim saying that. You know what I mean? Whoever's saying it, that they're not very open with it. But yeah, they're hurt. I mean, like, yeah, you get Burks back and you get Hudson Henry back, and I mean that's your first in. I mean that helps the receiving already. Yeah, still, I mean 300 yards from Franks, and that's still. It's just going to make him better when he's got more weapons around.
He's middle of the pack right now in the SEC, right? They like his stats, very middle of the pack, everything across the board, which is good. Like he's a good average SEC quarterback, but I feel he's a better quarterback than that. We just got to see some guys step up around him. And be playmakers, make some stuff happen. And at the same time, while he's being super smart with the football, he's doing everything he needs to do. Just tuck it and run it. Just add that one component to your game, and it's going to give you a lot more holistic game. But watch some old Matt Jones videos.
Oh, man. I don't know if he can run as fast as Matt Jones, but yeah.
Maybe not that fast, but still, right? If you want to see how to just tuck the ball and run it, no hesitation.
Yeah, no hesitation. There we go. That's definitely you're right on that key, man. It's gotta have that though, man. Just go. Just get it, man. You can get it. They're not gonna.
Mm-hmm. So, we already praised the defense, but I guess we should get into that a little bit more. Bumper pull was exciting and fun to watch out there, but didn't make a lot happen. Honestly, Catalan was this was his big game. 10 tackles, 4 assists. So, I mean, that's good. 14 altogether, 10 solos. So, not bad at all. Not a bad game. Eric Gregory coming in, getting the 4 and the 6. Altogether, 4 solos and then 6. So, team tackles.
One of those. I guess Gregory the half sack, him and Isaiah Nicholson. I think that's the first one. There's a big one of those drives where on a third down and 7 or third down and 4, and they combine on a sack on Nix and in that drive. So that's a big time play with him.
And I skipped over Hudson Clark. He had 7 tackles, altogether.
Not bad for a walk-on, man, and a breakup.
Not bad. And the nice thing about this was a lot that we were really converging to the ball a lot. So you notice that while our team has a lot of total tackles versus solos, because we were like attacking the ball as a team, and that's exciting to see when you see that defense converging on the ball and attacking like a red swarm coming at you of wild hogs, slobbering and feral. So Marshall had 4 tackles, 2 assists, 6 totals. So then you had Fouché with 1 solo, 4 assists. Grant Morgan with 5 assists. Williams with 2 solos, 2 assists. And then everybody else has, 1 to 2 assists. Except, I guess, Coates, Blair, and Jones. You got to, they didn't have any assists. They all had a solo. They didn't have any assists. So we don't have anybody that didn't at least get some part of a tackle. Like Kelly, he didn't have a solo, but he got an assist, right? So everybody's out there tackling. You just got to say hats off to you guys. Like you're playing, you're spreading it around. Hayden Henry with the sacks and all that. So Nichols with the sacks. Look, I mean, Brooks, of course, Brooks. Brooks just been looking really good. He's like, he's one of those guys. I'm like, wow, he's an up and comer, right? And he should be.
Yeah, he's another one that had an tackle for loss, and he looked good again.
Mm-hmm. Hard hitting.
Yeah. I was like, and nice to see Hayden Henry get a sack. Linebacker when Poole was out. Poole and Morgan's both been battling some things. Hadn't played all the time. Hayden Henry stepped up and got a big sack, though. Jonathan Marshall, of course, big at defensive tackle. And he had a sack and a tackle for loss, so he accounted for quite a few. Catalan, of course, led the team. I guess it's not great when your safety leads it, but he is a play. I mean, he stops it, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that pass breakup that he made was huge, too, in that game. So defense is making some plays. I like it, man. I just – you believe in it, you know what I mean? Like we did that first little bit. Tank Bigsby made us,
Oh, yeah.
We didn't wrap them up and get them down like we should have. We did get better. What would you rather see defense play – like start off like good at first and then get wore down and play worse in the end, or would you rather see the defense like, all right, Odom adapted to it and we
made
played
his
better
corrections,
and also and then also 7 of that's the block punt and touchdown, so he really didn't give up 30 points. He gives up 23. That's not bad in the SEC right now when games are being played in the 40s and 50s and 60s. You know what I mean?
Especially against the Auburn team that's got supposedly a awesome offensive coordinator. Running the score up on people, and you're expected to go out there and stop a Chad Morris type offense.
Well, okay, that's a fair point. I do expect us to get a shutout against them, but I don't know.
I mean, we hate special teams, and that's what Sam Pittman, if he has taught me anything this year, it is that special teams needs to fix it. And he said it. He said it in the press conferences and all himself. So it's not just me. It's pretty much a quote that they need to fix it and figure it out. I mean, we don't even try to return the ball, right? We have no kick returns, no punt returns. We're just like, look, our special teams are horrible. We just can't. So anytime we don't have to, we're not going to. And that's sad. That is sad to see that our special teams is in this kind of a dang predicament, and it comes from not having a special teams coach for years. Morons.
Yeah, just now doing it, just total different. I mean, just what have we been doing?
Kids are like, I did it in high school.
I don't know what's going on. You would expect it to be better. We got a special teams coach this year. Why is it so bad? Some of those alignments and just
what Morris do? Just go on over and kick the ball. And y'all get ready. Man, this is crazy. Why does our special team suck so bad?
Killed us, man. Like not without that block punt, without that missed extra point. I mean, there's no way we should win that game, man. We should have won that game. We should have beat Auburn. That should have been like we were talking about. We were talking about last week. We said we were going to win like that. We should have. There's no excuse to not win like that. We're better than what the score came out to be. It should have came down to getting screwed by the refs in the end.
Yeah, thank you for the field goal, AJ. You made that happen. I appreciate it. That was decent of you. Everybody else needs to figure it out, right? Like linemen and stuff, right? Like lining up in illegal formations over and over and over again. Like that's got to get fixed. Pick a formation, stick with one, and don't ever line up in a different one and do it right.
Yeah, I've heard coaches say just thinking of just making some things simple, on offenses or defenses during this time. Like, dang, make the special teams just stick with it, just do it well, just line up, make sure you never have a penalty. Because even on the block punt, we had that. We did it again. Like when we're backed up that far, first we need to move the ball. Second, we cannot make it worse and get them backed up, where at least like they would have had a chance to. I don't know, but. I mean, we couldn't even get a safety out of it. It could have just had a safety. That would have just been even that. So many of these small plays when we're in these SEC games, it just makes it worse. I don't know.
Hey,
Should have won that game.
We're punting the ball 51 to 40 yards. So we're flipping the field every time we punt it. So you got to be happy about that. The punting is good. It's not like it's the punting, right? And the field goal kicker's pretty good. It's all the people around. You know, the people that you're usually griping about. It's everybody else. Y'all get it together.
Yeah.
Period. That's the message from the fans. Get it together.
Yeah. And why can't we have touchbacks? Auburn had 5 touchbacks in the end zone on the kickoff. Didn't even allow us to even have a chance to have a kicker. 5 touchbacks, and we don't even have one. We kick it out of bounds. They did kick it out of bounds twice. We kicked it out of bounds. Like, we're letting them, and then we can't cover it all the time. You get scared when somebody kick returns it. All the other teams are just kicking out of bounds every time. Like, we're not. Why can't we be one of those two? Can we have a good kick return or returner, or can we have a good kickoff specialist? I mean, let alone both. Just give us one at least.
Exactly. All right. You know what? I need to grab a beer, and so I am going to go off air for a minute. We will be right back. If you're live, just give us 5 minutes, maybe less.